Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ozarks
Hello.
Live. Good to have you here.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Doing fine. How about you?
Good.
This is good. A lot of shouting is still going on in Springfield, yes?
Yes, the Queen City Shout Music Festival continues. Watched part of it last night. It goes all the way through like Sunday. Just in case you don't know, you can log on to queencityshout.com and you'll see a lineup on there. So you just look for their logo, then you'll see a lineup on 2 different pages. Okay, so you can look through and see who's on tonight, for example, who's on tomorrow night, what times, and then you literally click through and it will take you right to it.
Did I see where like our old buddy Rule is going to be on there?
You know what? I believe I did see Rule Chapel's name in the lineup for tonight. Yep, there he is. 7:40 Rule will be on, and I was scheduled to go on last night between acts. And we tried. We had a little technical difficulty. I was there, but the host couldn't, for whatever reason, see me. So tonight, maybe I'll be able to make my little appearance on there.
I thought it was with your band.
Oh, with Joy in the band?
Yeah,
No.
Joy in the band.
No, we only play really big arena things, so not, yeah. Sorry to disappoint.
The whole internet isn't good enough.
No, not even close. But it's really cool. And let me just tell you something else. There's a virtual tip jar for the musicians. Yeah. This is free, people. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything because, you know, they can't do this in person. It's virtual. So there's a GoFundMe page, and it all benefits poverty relief in the Ozarks, places like Isabel's House, the Victory Mission Harmony House, and some others. So I want to make sure you know that. And this is something I just sort of globbed onto this afternoon. It is an art and film festival, as we've talked about. Right. Okay, so you'll find a link when you click on film. You can click on music, art, and film. When you click on film, you're going to find a link to about an hour-and-a-half long documentary called The Center of Nowhere. And it's about the history of Springfield's music scene. Have you seen it?
I have not, but I have heard about it, and it's like, this has been, I mean, a vibrant scene for years and years. I feel bad for all these players and everything who do not have venues right now to be able to play at.
Yeah, I know, and this alleviates that to some degree, but truly, this documentary, a lot of work went into this. It's about an hour and a half long, and it takes you through the Ozark Jubilee. It takes you through the history of some of the gospel music. It talks all about Lou Whitney, who, you know, was a big part of the Springfield music scene for years, helping people inside and outside of the area with their music. It's really a history lesson in this area where we live right now, and it makes you realize how very fortunate we are to have the musicians and the songwriters that we have in the history.
This was the center of music in the United States. There were only 3 live places early on, the Jubilee, and then New York and Los
LA.
Angeles. That was it. 3
and
places, we were one of them.
And anyway, this documentary is worth your time. I've been sitting back there watching it, and I'll have to finish it later because it's a full-length deal. It's like an hour and 35 minutes, but
I'll take a look at it.
Well worth it. The Queen City Shout's got a lot going on.
Okay. We have a great show for you guys today. We get to chat with meteorologist Beth Finello about the intense storms that hit Iowa.
Yeah, that weird weather phenomenon called the derecho.
That's Latin for the ratio.
Oh, derecho. He thinks he knows. All right, we're going to be talking with another one of the businesses that you can find at the upcoming virtual Man Show.
Yeah, not to mention, I have a recipe to share with you all today for National Bacon Lovers Day.
All right, I love me some bacon. Plus, we have a musical performance from Joe Dillstrom a little bit later in the show.
But before we get to all that, here's what's on the radar.
All right, I've got something pretty amazing. You ever hear of a young lady named Ruby Tucker?
Have not.
Okay, when I say young lady, I mean she is a young lady. But now I want you to remember that name.
Okay.
File it away right here. You're going to see her again. Ruby's on the right. Ruby is 6 years old. Watch her.
Ooh.
6. Her dad, Kiwan, started training her at about age 2. But he says, you know, when Ruby turned about 4, he realized she had some real talent. By the way, he learned to box from his dad, and he says he believes that the world just loves a good father-daughter connection. So he's not all that surprised by the hundreds of thousands of views that Ruby has got. I know, and here's the thing. She is all girls. She loves playing with her kitchen set in her room. She loves her dolls. She wants to be a hairdresser, a clothing designer, a YouTuber, a reporter, and a boxer. She says that boxing makes her feel brave and strong, and you can follow her on Instagram at Team Ruby NJ. Look at her.
I'd have been down for the count on a couple of those combinations, and she's just kind of ducking and, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it's really, really fun to watch her. And
Former champion of the world somewhere.
I'm telling you, I've seen a couple of interviews with her and her dad. So eloquent.
Yeah.
And such a poised young lady at the tender age of 6 years old. And she's that talented. So anyway, I just love finding that. That's what makes the internet so great, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you find
Those
people
are the
like Ruby
things that are good.
and her dad. Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah.
All right. There comes a moment in everyone's life when we say enough is enough, and we spring into action. Well, that moment recently came from Mr. Toby Bailey of Margate, Kent, in southeast England. He lives on a street with 26 houses and 24 parking spots. You kind of see what's coming. People keep parking in front of his house, often blocking him or his family members in. He thought putting up clear signage will help, but no, it happened again, and he finally had enough. First step, of course, he had put up the signs, but he put a note on the offending car's windshield, sat back with a beer and waited. Prudently, he didn't keep drinking because the car was still there the next day. On to step 2, revenge. He wrapped the entire car in thick black plastic.
Wow.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, the owner finally appeared. Turns out it was someone who had just moved in next door. And contrary to what you might think, this did not end in any verbal or physical confrontation. Actually, the offender thought it was very funny, was very apologetic, and promised not to park there again. And all's well that ends well. The car was actually cleaner when the wrap was removed.
How long do you take putting that on there?
I'm sure it took a while, but according to what I found out, it didn't take that much to get it off, and it helped clean the car when they took it off.
Wow. All right,
Yeah.
watch where you park. All right, remember last week when we showed you the skinny house in Illinois? Do you remember the house that was the skinny little
I might
weird...
not have been there
Were you not here that day?
I
Maybe
don't
Candy
remember
was
a
with me
skinny
that day.
house.
Well, I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
One part of the house is only 3 feet wide. See?
Nope, I didn't see that.
Oh, you must not have been here. There's a little bathroom down on that end, by the way. It actually fans out from there and it gets wider. It's about 20 feet at its widest over on the far end. But the house gets a ton of attention, but there must be something about that part of the Midwest because there's a tiny house in Iowa that I want you to see. I love this one. A 13-year-old built this.
Oh, yeah.
Luke Thill calls his 89-square-foot structure a starter home. He built it for $1,500 that he raised by mowing lawns, gathering reclaimed materials, and doing some just plain smart bartering. He apparently cleaned an electrician's garage in exchange for some electrical work. Case in point. Good work there.
Nice.
But the house is 5.5 feet wide, 10 feet long, has a loft, even a small deck. No plumbing, though, but he does sleep out there a couple of nights a week. Interesting. He said he wanted a place of his own.
Yeah.
And he said, Dad, I think I want to build a house. So that's what they built.
That's pretty cool.
And, yeah, so he has friends over, or maybe a friend.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, I wouldn't
someone
have
in the
a bunch
loft,
in
and
there, yeah.
someone on the porch, and someone in the main. Anyway, interesting architecture if you
I
go
like
looking
it.
for it. Yeah, weird. All right, coming up, meteorologist Beth Finello is going to join us as we take a look at some of that crazy storm damage in Iowa. It's truly devastating.
Yeah, plus we have some footage from someone you all know who was there during it all. Ozarks Live, we'll be right back.